Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Tom Drives. In this episode we're going to be taking a look at MG Rover's Project Drive programme and how it affected all of the models across the breadth of the MG Rover range. We're going to be taking a look at whether it destroyed the company and the reputation of the cars, or it bought them precious time to try and get a deal over the line and get those 5,000 jobs saved and secured and another 100 years for the Rover name. So without further waffling, I'm going to remind you to subscribe to the channel, like and drop a comment below and let me know your opinions on this. Was it a necessary evil, or did it basically kill all of the cars and the brand's reputation before that, which arguably wasn't too great. So without further delay, let's get into the video. What is Project Drive? Project Drive was an initiative introduced at MG Rover in 2000, just after the Phoenix 4 took over MG Rover for a tenner from BMW. During this, several features were deleted, key little refinements from each car, and it spanned the entire MG Rover range. It touched the TF all the way to the 75 and ZT, so the whole breadth of their models were affected. It even included deleting things like the fuel burning heater, which was introduced as standard on all diesel models, but then later removed in one of the Project Drive bulletins. Of course, the main driver behind Project Drive was to save cost and produce higher profit margins on each model sold. A good example of this would be the little seat belt bolt cover on the Rover 75. Let's say that cost me £1 to produce, to put in each car. I then produce 100,000 cars without it. I've saved £100,000. And when in an environment like MG Rover at the time, where every penny counts, that is absolutely crucial. It was such a driving force in the company to cut these costs of manufacture. They even offered bonuses to employees. So if you made a suggestion and that travelled upwards, and obviously that got introduced into production, you would get a bonus for that. So it's quite a good little incentive to have. It means that everybody's sort of involved in that process. Of course, this spanned from 2000 to 2005 and affected every single model. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to break it down per model, with the 75/ZT first, which had over 50 changes. I'll obviously highlight the biggest ones that you'll obviously notice, and some of the little ones as well, just to make it a bit more fun. So I'll break it down into each car. We'll cover from the 25 to the 75, from the TF to the ZT. So let's get into the Rover 75 and MG ZT first. Of course, it's impossible to mention Rover 75s and ZTs and Project Drive without mentioning Reeves from the Rover 75 and MG Club. This guy posted an incredible forum post that details every change that I'll be using as a source in this video. There's also a number of forum posts all over the place that I've collated, as well as the Project Drive bulletins. But I thought I'd give Reeves a shout out because, gosh damn, that is an incredible bit of work. Read tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of times, and I've read through it a million times in late nights, early mornings. So brilliant, and thank you for being an absolute legend and posting that. So let's get into what got removed from the Rover 75 and MG ZT. The Rover 75 and MG ZT were of course the most affected by this. Project Drive was first introduced in November of 2000 on the 25 and 45, but it didn't start on the 75 or ZT until January 2001. So I'll go through each change, each notable change, and I'll show you a bit of footage and a comparison of each. The first change was on the 15th of January 2001, and it ranged from VIN 205081, and it was on the 75 only. The leather handbrake grip was replaced by a plastic grip on the Rover 75 Classic and Club models. So to get that leather grip, you had to go up to the Club SE or the Connoisseur or Connoisseur SE. In February of 2001, from VIN 205371 on the 75 only, the cigar lighter was replaced with the 45s type to simplify production. On the left is the original version, and on the right is the 45 type, the replacement. On the 8th of March 2001, from VIN 206814, on both the 75 and ZT, the VIN plate on all models was changed to include the model definition, the smoke rating for the diesels only, and the style was changed to incorporate the new company name, going from Rover Group Limited to MG Rover Group Limited. In March of 2001, on the 26th, from VIN 208804, on the 75 only, the little D-post badge finishes were deleted. So that's the little Rover badge on both the right and left rear flanks of the car. That was removed and it was replaced by essentially a blank panel. And later, the British flag was introduced on the facelift models. Unfortunately, there isn't an exact date, so it's probably about late April of 2001 from VIN 209690 on the 75 only. The Viking embossed headrests, the beautiful Vikings, were deleted from the leather seats on the Connoisseur SE models. From the 4th of May in 2001, from VIN 218882 on the 75 only, the plastic front seatbelt lower anchorage bolt head cap was deleted. You can see here on my car, it remains. It's the little plastic cap that covers the bolt. A few unknown dates now. So on my key, as you can see, you've got the little Rover logo. That was actually deleted in late to mid 2001, and my car originally didn't come with that case. So you can see, obviously, there's the blank one that most people have, and then there's a really rare one with the Rover logo embossed onto the little plastic unlock key. An incredibly notable one now, from the 4th of June 2001, from VIN 218712 on the 75 only, the boot badge was simplified and deleted, and it was modified into the chrome plinth. So originally, as you can see on my car, you've got the Rover writing on the plinth and the separate badge. This was simplified to simplify production and obviously material costs, etc., and it was all incorporated into one plinth. From the 21st of June 2001, from VIN 218712 on the 75 only, the engine derivative badges, the little torpedo badges on the front left and right doors, were deleted from the lower door finishes. So they were completely taken off. So the little badge that's 2.5 litre, 2 litre, 1.8 litre, that was removed. From the 3rd of September 2001, from VIN 226529, this is on the 75 and ZT, the original moulded door reflectors, the little square ones, were replaced with the little tiny adhesive stickers, the red ones, as you can see there on the right. On the 21st of October 2001, from VIN 233774 on the 75 and ZT, originally there were 3 separate labels for the coolant specifications and the capacities within the engine bay on that front bit. That was replaced by a single sticker, which to me, I kind of like the single sticker a lot better. From the 5th of May 2001, from VIN 234500, this was the 75 diesel auto. The transmission oil cooler located in the front was originally an air blast style cooler with a fan. Instead, it was replaced by a fluid type oil cooler. My car, of course, has the original air blast cooler, as I found out by a little escapade and a little incident in Asda a few years ago. Another one that a few people may have noticed on their cars, on the 14th of November 2001, from VIN 235915 on the 75 and ZT, the rear lamp access panels were deleted and the moulded luggage compartment trim was modified to replace those panels. So you used to have a little plastic one and you now have like essentially a bit of felt over there. Essentially an extension of the boot fabric that had been cut out and made into a little flap. Now, one of the most controversial of these changes, on the 3rd of December 2001, from VIN 238547 on the 75 only, the real wood fascia was replaced by a wood effect plastic fascia. Obviously, you can see there's obviously two ways to differentiate from this. You have the printed airbag on the real wood, and you have the airbag badge on the plastic wood. This, of course, is another one where we can't determine the date it was removed. Originally, the Rover 75 had an embossed Rover 75 logo as you opened the leather document wallet. My car, which was produced, I believe, in April or May of 2001, that car had it deleted originally, but as you can see by me opening this one that I've purchased from Glenn, you can see on there that I've got one that has it on. The ones post that period of time all have that deleted. After obviously a while, in about, I think it's about 2002, 2003, the leather document holder was gotten rid of entirely and it was replaced by a thin plastic translucent pouch. In May of that year, on the 6th, from VIN 255987 on both the 75 and ZT, all vehicles were fitted with the 25 and 45 style door mirrors instead of the bullet style of mirrors. Another major feature change was the fuel burning heater. On the 2nd of September 2002, from VIN 267855 on the 75 and ZT diesels only, the fuel burning heater, which was fitted as standard on all diesels up to this date, was removed. It was then offered, of course, as an aftermarket option only. From the 2nd of September 2002, from VIN 268228 on the 75 and ZT, from that VIN, the right-hand high-tone horn was deleted, so you had no more dual-tone horns. You just had the single one located on the left. Now, there's a few other changes that I haven't covered. Linked in the description is a big list of changes. A link to Reeves' post. Fantastic post. There's things like connectors, wiring, things like that were refined and changed over time, and even things like the plenum drain tubes which were removed, so definitely check that out. In August of 2000, during Project Drive's kickoff, the first two candidates were chosen, the 25 and 45, essentially not wanting to sully their beautiful new flagship, the Rover 75. These models were, of course, the worst affected by the least amount of change, because by this point they were already a few years old and were starting to show their age. In May of 2002, on the 30th, the twin horn was replaced with a single horn. That was the high-tone horn deletion that was removed from the Rover 75. That affected all cars from VIN 664960. On the 9th of August 2002, the underbonnet sound insulation was deleted from all petrol models of the 25 and ZR. That affected all cars from VIN 673776. In October of that year, on the 7th, the spare wheel was replaced by the dreaded instant tyre repair kit, also known as the I'm stranded on the side of the road and I have nothing that can help me kit. On the 14th of November 2002, to simplify production, the Rover 25 was then fitted with the non-chrome style headlamps, the same as the MG ZR. This affected all models from VIN 689955. A few other notable changes without dates that I can find. The fog light blanks became a neutral finish, so black plastic instead of being painted on the 25. The B-pillar black vinyl trim, so there was like a little vinyl thing that went over to protect it from sun damage, that was removed from all models. The glove box lamp was removed from all of the lower end 25 models, so the I and the IE, and a few other brilliant features were removed from the 25, and I'll link a forum post below, and I'll see if I can link the AR Online article as well. The MGF and the MGTF were probably the least affected. The following, of course, were removed during the Project Drive's life cycle, but it may also correspond with the introduction of the TF. Of course, the MGF came with a two-tone horn, the TF and the later Fs came with a single-tone horn. There was no underbonnet light, and there was no ignition switch illumination, so when you put the key in, it usually goes red on the earlier MGFs. Another thing is the little access flaps on the engine grille cover for the expansion tank. And in conclusion, Project Drive was a necessary evil. Cost cutting is easy to put in practice, but it's hard to sneak past the end consumer and the customer. In an already critical environment in the market of MG Rover, these small changes in the refinement of the cars and small feature removals didn't help in their public image department, but they did help keep the company afloat. £1 at a time, every single small change resulted in a big impact across the production line, helping keep all of those people in their professions for an amount of time that we probably can't measure based on the information we have. Now, do I think project drive cars, post-project drive cars and project drive cars are superior or inferior to one another? No, because that's not how this all works. I do think there's a few things that are missing from the post-project drive cars that I like to have, that I've included on mine, for example the embossed headrests, which weren't included on my car. But of course, it's all about whether or not you like your car or you're not. And if you like your car and it's post or pre, it doesn't really matter. So that's about that, everybody. And now on to my opinion of the situation. I think that Project Drive personally was a bit of a short-term plan, not a long-term goal. I think the 25 and 45, those models didn't represent enough value to have that removed from them. So when those little refinements were removed, I think people noticed. And obviously the image of MG Rover was obviously a bit of a mess at the time. No thanks to the British media shooting their own industry in the foot as always, and you know the self-sacrifice of British people of not having a car industry anymore, because I'm not sure why we didn't support our own, but here we are with no car industry anymore, and it's a damn shame. So the 75 and ZT for me was the pinnacle of big cost cutting and big savings that they could have done. They couldn't have gone as ham on it, and I'm glad they didn't remove things like the extra insulation and things like that and basically turned it into a Mondeo, because that would have been pretty horrific. Not that there's anything against the Mondeo, but you know, there's several key things that were removed. And let me know your opinion in the comments, because I'm always interested. These videos have really garnered a lot of discourse, and I really like that. Even if I don't reply to your comment, I've definitely read it because it shows up on my phone and I've got to look for something to do during working hours to get me off my job. Jokes, but I would say I'm a pretty productive employee. Anyway, that's about that. My opinion on it is obviously that. Let me know yours below, and yeah, that's everything. So thank you for watching. Keep watching, a bit of a long one I think, and remember to subscribe and let me know what you think we should do in the next video.